And climate change analyst Professor Emmanuel Ladipo joins us to discuss the latest IPCC report on climate change. Good to have you join us. So, according to the UN chief, it is a code red for humanity. What does this mean?
Just as it said it, that humanity has to wake up and face the reality that we are calling abnormal now, that may become normal in the very near future. It means that we have some control, not total, but we have some control over what is happening if we all work together, not as individual nations, but as a global system, which the climate system represents. The climate does not know any geopolitical boundary, the rainfall does not know when it is in Nigeria or when it is in Canada. It follows a particular system known as the global circulation system that brings rain when it is supposed to rain, brings heat when it's supposed to be warm, and make it cold when it's supposed to be cold. So it's calls, therefore, this report calls that we all have to work together as one indivisible community that is being affected by all these systems in different ways, in different proportions, with different casualties. So the reporters say that we have the opportunity of reducing the madness that the global system is going through, the global climate system is going through. And that's what the message is all about. Can we work together as one and address this challenge squarely to minimize its impact? We cannot eliminate it, of course, but at least to minimize its impact. Thank you.
So, Prof, for those who are climate change skeptics, and for those who are struggling to grapple with what all of this means, paint for us what this means in terms of, in light of what we are seeing now and what we could see in the near future if we do not do anything about this report.
The climate change skeptics have some foundations, they have some fundamentals. One is that even when humanity was not as large, the climatic system has always been fluctuating one way or the other. It has always been moving from one state to another. Periods of coolness, periods of warmness, periods of wetness, periods of dryness. So the message that this report is giving is that comparatively to what was obtaining in the past, when humanity's influence was not as much, we run into a very serious danger of accelerating and accentuating these extreme changes in the climatic system based on what we are doing to the atmosphere. Maybe people may not understand it very well, but let me just spend 1 minute to let people understand what the message is all about. The air above us, which we call the atmosphere, is the main house driving the whole system that we are witnessing. This air above us has some gases which are part of the composition that God has given and has made it available for us to have oxygen, carbon dioxide, humidity, which is the moisture that we see as rain in some instances, nitrous oxide, argon, and so many other gases in the atmosphere. Humidity is part of those gases available. In its natural state, these gases interact with each other to produce the climatic system we're witnessing. Some of those gases have very interesting characteristics that will allow the energy that is coming directly from the sun to penetrate them and allow them to reach the Earth's surface. When the sun's energy hits the Earth's surface, it transforms itself into a long-term energy, a long-wave energy, which we call long-wave energy, in form of the heat that we feel. That is the one we sense, that we call temperature. It is the heat that is coming from the warming of the Earth's surface that we feel as temperature. That's why when it's raining, the temperature is cooler. When it is dry and it's warming up rapidly in the afternoon, the temperature is warmer than in the morning. Now, a major feature of these gases in the atmosphere is that it will permit this energy directly from the sun, which are in form of what we call short wave, to penetrate. Once this short wave energy is converted to long wave energy, it becomes easily digestible by these gases. That is, the gases are capable of absorbing this energy from the Earth's surface. And that's what keeps the Earth warm. And that's why we call them greenhouse gases. Carbon dioxide is a major gas in this respect. Other gases are methane and nitrous oxide. There's nothing wrong with the ability of these gases to keep the Earth warm. Without it, the temperature of the Earth's surface, if all the energy that comes from the sun goes back, the temperature of the Earth's surface on the average will have been about minus 18 degrees C, which means the Earth will have been too cold for us to survive. It is these greenhouse gases that keep this Earth warm that makes us different, the Earth's surface, the Earth, different from the other planet systems. If they are not there, we will not be able to live. So there's nothing wrong with them. But what is wrong is that when humanity tried to develop very fast from 1750 during the Industrial Revolution, when we started burning coal, smelting iron, and all, we started emitting a lot of these gases into the atmosphere, more than what is necessary.
More than what is
the
necessary.
natural composition that the Earth created. So that's where the challenge is. The more we keep on pumping, the more we will continue to destabilize the Earth's surface. And one of the basic statistics that this last report gave is that we have emitted about 2.5 trillion trillion tons of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And this is what is causing the trouble.
In basic terms, Prof, in basic terms, thank you very much, first of all, for breaking that down for every one of us to understand exactly what's going on. And from what I get from you, in basic terms, we are destroying the Earth through our actions. And we already see, I mean, even for the skeptics, no one can deny that what we've seen, even in Nigeria, in the past few days with flooding, especially in places like Lagos, that this is because of the actions we have taken in the past decade. So let me ask you, Prof, is it too late? Is there a possibility of a reversal at this time?
Yes, the answer is yes and no. There's a possibility of reversal, but humanity should not expect that the reversal will be immediate. If you remember very well, last year, during the COVID pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, many of the industrialized countries shut down their industries. There was one particular picture over China which shows that the amount of pollution in the atmosphere over China had reduced drastically, which also translates that the amount of carbon dioxide and other gases, the greenhouse gases that we were emitting to the atmosphere, reduced drastically as a result of the closing down of the industries and the shutting lockdown that took place. But still, the atmosphere behaved in an erratic manner. The problem now is that it's like this report was talking about, that as if we have doped, we have given the atmosphere a sort of drug that is now behaving in a very critical manner. I used to call it madness. The atmosphere is now mad. So as much as we try to reduce these greenhouse gases, there's what we call the inertia. The amount of greenhouse gases that we have emitted, which is more than 413 parts per million, is enough to continue to drive the atmosphere crazy and to continue to do what it's doing for us. So what we can do is that even when we try to reduce as much as possible, it will take some time before the nearly normal climatic system is restored. But yes, we have to start. We have to start to accept that we have contributed to all these challenges and that the way forward is for all of us to act as a unit, as a global system, as a global community, to reduce as much as possible so that we do not throw the atmosphere into a total state of warmness that it cannot return, even when we try to cut down continuously.
So, Prof, I wish we had enough time to talk about adaptation. I was going to talk to you about adaptation, but it looks like we do not have enough time to do that. But thank you so much for helping us break this down.
Adaptation is very critical. We have to adapt.
Absolutely.
To reduce the impact. Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Prof, for breaking this down for us. And I hope that every one of us start to take action in mitigating the effects, further. Thank you, Professor Emmanuel Ladipo, climate change analyst.
Thank you.